Hi, my name is Ethan Hine. Welcome to the Play With Your Music video about audio editing in Soundation. We're going to be working with the song Air Traffic Control by Clara Berry, and if you'd like to follow along, you can just pause me, open up another browser tab, and type in soundation.com/air_traffic. And then anytime you'd like to try out the stuff that I'm talking about, feel free to pause and do so. What I'm not going to be talking about today is recording audio, which is a really big topic. There are a ton of videos and websites about it if you're interested. The main thing you need to know is that if you're going to try to record stuff off your computer's built-in microphone, it's not going to sound very good. It's fine for getting down ideas, but not for professional purposes. The audio that I'm going to be working with right now is all included in Soundation. So let's jump in. Soundation, like all other digital audio editing programs, divides up the music into separate tracks. So what you're seeing here is the baritone guitar, the piano. This track just has some echo from the piano and the lead vocal. All these other tracks contain instruments that don't enter until later in the song. So let's listen. So here's the piano. Here's the baritone guitar. You can hear it by itself. Here comes the lead vocal.
Air traffic control, I'm coming down.
There it is by itself.
On your word, flying round
and here's the EFX track. It's got a little echo.
storming, but the heavens are full.
So what I'm going to do right now is actually isolate this little baritone guitar phrase that opens the song, and I'm going to build a hip-hop track out of it. So let's hear it again. And I'm going to loop playback, and up here in the timeline, I'm going to draw a yellow bar that tells Soundation which part I would like to loop. Now, since the only part of this loop I'm interested in is the baritone guitar, I'm actually going to delete all the other tracks. And I'm just going to click their names and hit the delete key. So all I have left is the baritone guitar. Also, I'm going to shorten this tail. So here's my loop. First thing I'm going to do is add some drums. I'm going to add a hip-hop drum beat. So I'm going to create an empty audio track with this little plus button in the lower left corner. So over here in the library, we've got a bunch of included loops. In the urban folder, I'm going to use this beat called 90-beat MPC smooth.wave. Now I'm going to get this dialog box. It's asking me, since this loop is not at the same tempo as my song, would I like to time stretch it or pitch shift it to fit? Air traffic control is 120 beats per minute. All the loops in this folder are 90 beats per minute, like it says on the label. But fortunately, I can just effortlessly time stretch it so that it's sped up and it fits. So that doesn't sound good. It sounds off. The reason it sounds off is that the baritone guitar loop doesn't actually start right on the downbeat. There's a little 2-beat pickup. So my drum loop should really go here. That sounds much more like it. Now I'm going to want this to repeat many times, so I'm going to take this pickup and I'm going to have to add it to the end of the loop as well. So I'm going to use the scissor tool to slice it off. I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm going to paste it over here and then drag it. Okay, now we should have a complete loop, and I'm going to adjust the yellow loop marker to fit. Much better. Beautiful. So I'm going to add another track And this time I'm going to put in some congas. Let's drag that in right here to start at the same place as the hip hop beat. Again, I need to time stretch it so that the tempos match. Now this conga loop is only half as long as the hip hop drum loop, so I'm going to drag it by its upper right corner, and that's just going to loop it an additional time. Here's how that sounds. Here's just the congas and the baritone guitar. Pretty good. Now if I want to start building a song, I'm going to have to make a few more copies of the baritone guitar. So I'll just paste all of that over here, then line it up. Maybe make a couple more copies. And I'm going to extend my drums to cover the entire thing. Now with the congas, I'm going to move them so they don't come in right away. I'm going to have them wait and enter on beat 9. Now I'm going to turn off the loop, because I don't want it to play over and over. I want it to play from beginning to end. Here we go. I'm going to drop the drums out at bar 17, create a little breakdown. And just by adding additional sounds and having them enter and exit at different places, I can create this feeling of a song with different sections, verses, choruses, things like that. So that's how you create a hip hop track in Soundation.